Good morning. It is Monday and it is the 31st day of 31 days of Zen. So we've made it through the month. How quickly can a month go by when you're uploading content every single day? It is crazy. But I am so excited to have made it through the month and to have had so much support from so many of you. But today we are wrapping it up with a YOGALATES practice. So through the month, we've been flip-flopping, alternating 1 week with yoga, 1 week with Pilates, back and forth. So today it's only fitting to have a fusion of the two of those disciplines by having a YOGALATES practice. So a little bit of both, mixing it up, and yeah, it should be a good workout as well as a really nice variety. It's nice to change up your workouts. I find that I am the type of individual that gets bored fairly easily. So having that variety and just changing things up not only is good for my motivation and keeping me wanting to work out and to remain moving and fit, but it also helps me mentally. I like the creativity of mixing it up, and it's so good for that mind-body connection to not constantly be doing the exact same thing all the time. So before I get started, just a little recap of the month that we've just experienced. So every Sunday, the week began with a special guest. So we've had a range, mainly talking about yoga and fitness. So ranging from leaders in the industry to finishing it up yesterday with one of my students, Miriam Kilby. We had a really good chat. So if you missed that, by all means, tune in to the replay. All of them are on the replay. They're all available on the channel. And there's been a mix of practices as well as some Q&A, some demos of different exercises. So a real good mix of content for you to check out if you missed any of it as we've moved throughout the month. So before we move on to today's practice, I would like to take a little bit of time to thank those who have so kindly supported. As a small channel like this one is, which I'd love to change to a larger channel, the Pika Vlogs and Crafts. You have been here throughout this journey, and I really appreciate your time. Today is yes, it's definitely one that beginners can participate in. I'll give you some modifications. And is it for weight loss? Well, certainly it's going to get you moving and in getting the hormones stimulated so that you can have better balance in those hormones to help you toward your weight loss journey for sure. You're even going to, in some instances, get a little bit breathless as well. So if you are just coming on, go get your props. I've got a couple of yoga blocks, but they're certainly not necessary. I have my mat, but so long as you have a soft surface to work on and something that's going to give you a little bit of grip, you'll be good to go. Eris, thank you so much for being here. Eris has been with me throughout most of these lives that I've done through the month. So I really, really appreciate your support. Eris has been a great support. Alicia's been here for almost every single one of the lives that I've done, whether they've been interviews or practices. Miriam, who I had the interview with yesterday, has been here for most of them. Paul Davies has been here for several of them. I don't see him here yet today. And as far as some of the channels, I'd kind of like to do a little bit. Yeah, I thought I only missed one, Alicia. So as far as the people who have been supportive, who have channels, you know, do take the opportunity to go visit them. But I really, your support as a channel coming here, commenting, watching for a little bit, or just popping in to say hi has just been tremendously appreciated. And Eris, you're definitely on top of the list for those who have been here regularly. I've got Bao Fit, who has been here quite often. Kirsten Quickfit did drop by to check in and say hi, do a little bit of commenting. I've had Augie Silver Fitness, who has been here for so many of the lives, and not necessarily always here for the live because of the time difference, but has been on pretty much all of the replays and commented very kindly. So Augie, I really appreciate it. Your support means so much. Too Fat, Too Furious has been on as well, on the live as well as some of the replays. Shea Butter, who has a channel, and really good channel, really interesting stuff, from workouts to reviews of different foods, as well as different workouts, different clothing options for your workouts. So I'd really advise you to go check out her channel if you haven't. And I thank you, Shay, for all the support that you have given throughout the month. It really is appreciated big time. Fat Don't Talk has been here. Lexi's been here quite often as well throughout the lives, popping in, saying hi, checking things out. Jessica Strata as well, who is a fitness enthusiast as well as newfound love of yoga. So she has been on, popping on for some support. Barrett Fitness and Nutrition has been on. Adrian and Nico have been on. Adrian and Nico have been supporters of my channel for quite some time, and they've come on a couple of lives as well as commenting on videos on the regular. So I really appreciate that. Being a larger channel and coming to a tiny little channel like mine, it does give you the encouragement to keep going, to know that, hey, somebody is watching the content. So I really appreciate that. Smitty's Fitness has been here and supporting. Jason Bailey has been on quite a few of these lives during the interviews, some of the practices, as well as commenting on some of the videos. So I really appreciate that. Jason has a great channel himself, and anybody who takes the time to pop in and comment, it really does mean a lot. JMJ's Staying Active Action Workouts is another channel who has been on quite a few times to these lives, popping in and out. Yo and Virginia, this is how we kicked off the month, was with Yo as a physiotherapist. She has a lot of expertise on yoga and Pilates, as well as overall as a physiotherapist and pelvic floor health for both men and women health. And then Derek's journey also has been on and on some of these lives. So really appreciate your support. And if I have missed someone who did come on to the lives, Deepika, you've been here a few times. So do let me know in the comments, whether you're watching now or on the replay. Let me know that I missed you, and I'll be sure to do a shout out to you the next time that I'm either doing a live or that I'm doing a video. For the month of June, as we move on, this is going to be the content. So this practice is the content of the week. I will be releasing a new video every Monday. So we're going back to one video per week. We finished the Chinese body organ clock. And right now I've got quite a few things that are in the works for the months to come. But June is kind of a reset, giving me an opportunity to visit many of you who I have may have neglected perhaps throughout the month of June because of being so busy between Instagram challenges and doing this content every single day. So without further ado, I will get started now. So if you're ready to go, you may want to make sure that you've got some water nearby as well to stay hydrated as we move on through the workout. So we're going to begin with a warm-up. So we're going to come to standing. I'm just going to put a little bit of music on here as we begin, so that we've got a little extra motivation going on in the background. And as we come to the top of the mat, I'm going to get you to stand nice and tall. Take a few shoulder rolls here to open up the body. Start to bring your awareness into being present. And we're going to begin with a yoga warm-up. So we're going to go through a few sun salutations. So you can modify those and adapt them to what works best for you and your body. So with that, let's take a few breaths here, inhaling to bring the arms up, looking up, exhaling to float the arms down again. So let's take a big breath in. And exhale, take a bow, half sun salutation as we come into a forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Reverse swan dive, take it up again. Breathing in with a little back bend, exhaling, hands land at the heart. Taking another inhale, reach it up, nice and tall. Exhale, dive it down and fold. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, squeeze the breath out. Inhale, reverse swan dive, and land those hands at your heart center. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, dive it down. This time we move on, we add on as you take a right foot back, right leg all the way back into a nice slow lunge here, a runner's lunge. From here we plant the hands down and step back to plank. Now, Deepika, you were asking if you want to modify it, make it easier, do it from the knees as you lower yourself down, pressing through the tops of those feet as you come up into a cobra. Maybe if you're a little more experienced, you're taking it into an upward dog. Bring the knees to the mat, tuck the toes under and take it back, downward facing dog. In our first downward dog, we spread the hands nice and wide open. We give the head a little bit of a turn from side to side, shaking it out yes, no, and just allowing the weight to create some traction. And from here, we walk the feet to meet the hands once again. As you inhale with a nice flat back, lengthen. Exhale to fold. Reverse swan dive, reach those arms nice and tall. Exhale into the heart. And let's go right back into the next inhale. Exhale, let's dive it down. Hinging at those hips, keeping a nice long flat back, plant the hands down, step back with the left leg, keep taking it into your low lunge once again. And from there, again, you can stay on the toes or bring the back knee down. If you want to make it an easier modification, you're bringing the knees to the mat. From here, we lower to chaturanga, scooping the heart up and lift it up. Take it back, downward facing dog. From here, let's lift the right leg up and stretch it out. Bend the knee, open up the hip a little bit and reach that long. And let's switch it over to the other side. Reaching the left leg long, bend, open it up. Loosening up those hips, bring it back down again. And you can either walk or maybe hop to bring those feet to the top of your mat. Inhale with a flat back and then exhale, let it fold. Reverse it as you take the arms up. As you bring your right arm by your right leg, reach up and over, sliding those fingertips down. And bring it up again. Inhale, center. Exhale. Reach it over to the other side, sliding those fingertips down. Bring it up. Inhale, lengthen through the front of the body. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen, and this time you can walk it back again, or you can hop back as you take yourself to a plank, nice and strong through the body, scooping it through, taking it back, downward dog, lifting the right leg up. Open up those hips. Once again, circle at the knee a few times, loosen it up, circle in both directions, and from here, bringing your right knee by your right elbow. Reach it back again. Inhale it.
Exhale, take it over to the left elbow. Now you can do this from your knees as well. Hey, Too Fat, Too Furious. Nikki, G, lovely to see you this morning. At least it's morning here. Take it back to that right elbow. Lift it up and back. Take it to the left elbow. Today we're working on our YOGALATES. So we're mixing up yoga and Pilates. So as we step it forward, so nice of you to stop by. I really appreciate that. I just had a little bit of a shout out for you guys a little while ago, really appreciating the support that you have given me throughout this month by showing up, popping in, commenting, whether it's on the live, the videos, it's all really appreciated. So continuing with our warm up here as we open up the arms and bring the hands behind the back, lifting the heart forward and upward, taking a bow to bring the heart just alongside that front leg. So from here, you want to make sure that you're well grounded, keeping the feet far enough apart, letting those hands come up and over. And as we release it, bring the hands back to frame that front foot and step it back to your plank. From toes or from knees, lower to chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog, take it back. Downward facing dog, and let's warm up the other side. Same thing, bend that knee, circle it around a few times in one direction, in the other direction. Reach back, press the heart through, and step that foot to the top of the mat. And let's keep those feet stretched out. Reach it up, inhale. Breathe, open up the heart. Bring those arms nice and wide. Just taking the opportunity as you do this for a great big stretch. Interlace those fingers. Reach the hands back. Breathe in. Take your bow. Bringing the heart right along the inside of that leg. And letting the arms come up and over. As you let it go, hands come back down again. Step it back to your plank. Lower down to chaturanga. Just realized I forgot those knee tucks. So let's reach it back. We don't want to neglect one side. We're going to take the left elbow toward the left, or left knee to left elbow. Breathe in. Left knee to the right elbow, taking it across. And let's do it again. Reach it over to your left elbow, same side. Inhale. Exhale, take it across. And as you reach it back, take it right through the center, step that foot to the mat, and take the other one to meet it. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold, and reverse swan dive. So you should be feeling nice and warm at this point. So the intent of using the yoga portion to get the blood flowing is a really, really nice combination. We've got lots of blood through all of the muscles. So from here, we're ready to combine some balance with some Pilates work. So taking the arms up, inhale. And as you exhale, take your right arm in front, wrap the left one around. So you're winding the arms for eagle arms here. And from here, softening up your right leg as you cross the left one over. Now, perhaps you can wind them. If not, just rest your toes on the mat beside your right ankle. So either way is going to work, but we're going to squat down and create a little bit of a curl here. So it's like a crunch that we're doing, but we're doing it standing while challenging the balance. Now, if this is too much, you could just do a chair with both feet on the floor. And we're going to do two more, or actually three more from here. So take your time. A little squeeze at the bottom, elbow towards your thigh. So we've got another two from here. In Pilates, we breathe in through the nose and we breathe out through the mouth. Here's the last one. From here, bring it up, unwind. Woo, stretch out. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, dive it down. As you dive down, wrap the arms around the backs of the legs. Give yourself a hug, a little squeeze. And inhale. with a nice long flat back. So we've got one more side to do. Oh, Anton, another supporter throughout the month. Welcome. Final day of 31 days of Zen. Breathe in, breathe out, and fold. Reverse swan dive. Open up those arms. Reach it wide, reach it tall. Take your left arm in front. Wrap the right one underneath. So as you bring those palms together, you're squeezing the elbows. You've got lots of softness in your standing left leg in order to be able to wrap the right one around. So you want to try to tuck your toes in behind your calf, your ankle. Again, if you can't quite reach it, you're just going to rest those toes on the mat, or you could just stay in chair like this. So a chair squat would work as well. So as you keep squeezing those elbows, and whichever form you want to take on here, we're going to keep the heart lifted as we start out. And the leg wrapped around really well. And now, not so much. So from here, we're going to breathe in and breathe out to tuck. We're doing 5 of these crunches. So lifting up, inhale. And exhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze those legs. Squeeze those elbows too. And we've got 3. And from here we've got 4. One more. Squeeze those legs, squeeze those elbows. And bring it up on one leg, on one arms. Inhale, big beautiful stretch. Exhale, dive it down. Inhale, take to a flat back. Plant the hands and take it back to your plank once again. From here, we lower to chaturanga and scoop it through upward dog. Take it back to your downward facing dog. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, move forward into your plank, bringing your forearms down to the mat. Now you can interlace the fingers if you like, or you can just bring the fists against each other. But as you broaden your upper back, so you want to, rather than retracting your shoulder blades to the middle of your back, you want to protract them away from each other. From here, pulling your belly button to your spine. Take an inhale. Exhale, push it back. Dolphin. Inhale with nice strong lines. Exhale, drawing your core in. Breathing in when you come to plank. Breathing out when you pull it back. So continue to really focus on the abdominal wall, pulling towards your spine to keep you well supported. And another 3 from here, making sure that your elbows don't get too wide apart. You don't want them too close either to put pressure on the shoulder. So it's finding that proper amount of spacing. So let's do one more here. And from here, we press it back up to your downward facing dog. As you lift the right leg up, we're going to bend the knee, tuck it in, and take that forward. So squeeze your thigh toward the belly and keep squeezing it here as you lower down. So just hovering your shin toward the mat and pick it up again. So lower and lift. Lower and lift. For 4 and 5. Keep that tucked in. Now, if it's too much to do it that way, if you were asking the PTAB, a beginner, you would do this from your table position instead. And last one, step it back, push back, downward dog. Spread those hands wide open, lift your left leg up, and ready to do the other side. Level the body, bring your knee in once again, lower down, hovering. So you're lowering the whole body here as you Squeeze your thigh nice and close to your belly. For 4, 5, bending the elbows to get that leg lower. 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it back. From here, walk the hands toward the feet as you come into your forward fold ragdoll. So allow the head to draw down. You can bring hands to opposite elbows as you create a nice little bit of rotation in the trunk. And as you slowly unroll yourself, come on up to standing nice and tall here. Let's take a big breath in, reaching up, looking up. As you exhale, bringing the hands to your heart, picking up the right leg. So you want to bring it up to round hip height, hip level, flexing that right ankle, taking a big step to the top of the mat where we challenge the balance. From here, bringing the arms right by the hips, fingers reaching back, take a bow, bringing belly over top of that thigh, and lifting the back leg up. So finding your balance here. And we're going to bend that standing leg and straighten it again. For 2, 3, 4, 5, and pick up that left leg, bring it forward, hands to heart, stretch it out in front as we squat. One-legged squat for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and step that foot in. Come on back to mountain pose, nice and tall. Take a breath here. Let your awareness just check in, see how things are doing physically, mentally, knowing to kind of assess and take a little bit of a step back if needed to modify as you need to modify. So we still have some mat work to do. We're going to go down soon and work on the mat. So let's take an inhale where we combine here on the standing poses the combination of yoga, Pilates with strength and stretch. So from here, take it back to your high plank, lower to chaturanga, take it upward dog, take it back, downward facing dog. As you spread that upper back nice and wide, and really intend those heels towards the floor as much as you can. Bend your knees if you need to. Walk your hands toward your feet, taking your time to create some articulation through your spine, and from there, slowly unroll to make your way up to standing nice and tall. Let's take an inhale, bring the palms together overhead. Exhale, hands come to the heart as we press into the heart center. We bring the weight into the right foot this time as we pick up the left one. So balancing on your right foot, flexing the left ankle. Find that spot at the top of your mat that you can take a big step here. From here, as you find your lunge and sink into it, bring the hands back, reach them back, creating a strong line from shoulders to fingertips. Breathe in, breathe out, tipping forward, reaching through the crown of your head, coming onto the big toe. Maybe your big toe stays on the mat if that's easier for you. As we continue to play around with that, bending and straightening. So you can stay here, or you can lift the toes. So we're at about 3 right now. And if you're ahead or behind, we're doing 10 of them. And 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring the hands to the heart. Take that leg forward. Stretch it out in front as we come into a single leg chair squat for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, 9, and 10. Take that in. Whew, shake out those legs. Come on back to your mountain pose. Take a moment to kind of compose yourself and really check in. And as we stand nice and tall, let's take an inhalation. Bring those arms up, look up. Exhale, dive it down, forward fold. As you inhale, flatten the back. And let's take it once again back to our high plank position. From here, inhale at the top. Exhale as we lower down halfway. Hold it right there. Make sure you adjust your body from toes or knees. Take another inhale. Come about an inch away from the floor. Come all the way to your mat. And from here, we are going to keep we're going to keep the toenails pressing into the floor as we bring the hands behind back, interlacing fingers, tucking the tailbone, elongating the spine. Take a breath in. As you exhale, peeling as much of your body, upper body, away from your mat. And breathing in at the bottom. Breathe out. 4, 2. And 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8, 9, and 10. Bring those hands top of your mat. Stack them, stack your forehead on them. We're coming into Pilates heel beats next. So you're going to start off with the feet a little bit wider than your hips, maybe about the width of your mat is about where I have them right now. You're going to remain with your tailbone tucked. So the idea is once you lift your legs, you don't want to be forcing more compression here. You want to use the powerhouse and your core to stabilize that lower back. So from here, let's lift the legs long and pat twice. Inhale when you open, exhale, exhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lower it down. From here, bring the hands to outside your heart and press it up. Take it back into a child's pose. So finally, you get a little bit of a break here. Bringing those knees apart and allowing arms to stretch out. If you prefer, you can always do your child's pose by keeping the hands under your forehead, or maybe even keeping your hips over the knees a little bit more is much more comfortable for some, especially if you have discomfort in your knees or your hips are really tight. You might find that to be a better option. But whatever works for you as far as a child's pose, if you're able to really surrender into it, you can even bring your ear to the mat. If you do that, though, you'll want to make sure that you do both sides so that you balance your stretch through your neck. And then take it back to your table position. Hands underneath your shoulders and knees underneath your hips. From here, we take the right arm, bring it long, do the same thing with your left leg. And we're going to bring the knee toward the ankle, or toward the elbow. Breathe in, elbow toward knee for 2. When you do this, try not to twist. Really trying to keep your body stable as you continue to reach and squeeze. Reach, squeeze, and keep it going. And we've got one more here. We're going to bring the right hand down, keeping your left leg extended. You're going to reach it long and just tap the toes over to the right outer edge of your mat. Imagine you're drawing a rainbow with your foot and tap to the left. Tapping to the right and over to the left. So you're drawing these rainbows with your leg, keeping your neck nice and long, keeping your shoulders nice and strong, so your arms strong, so that you're not
kind of collapsing into the shoulder joint. And you want to be keeping the whole leg straight. So it's not this kind of action. It is where that left glute right now is starting to build some heat because you are using the glutes to pick up that whole leg. And you're using your powerhouse to continue to keep your back well supported. So we're going to finish it up with one more repetition through, finishing over on the left side and bring it in. Take the hands further forward, tuck the toes under, take it back to your inverted V or downward dog. Inverted V for Pilates, downward dog for yoga. Take a few breaths. Shoulders wide apart. Head nice and heavy. Breathe in, breathe out, bring it down. Press through the tops of those feet. As you elongate through your left arm, reach it long. Reach your right leg long. Again, you're finding your balance here. Try not to tip completely over to one side or the other. Breathe in, breathe out, elbow to knee, and keep that going. Make sure it's a controlled movement. You don't want to be kind of flopping your limbs. You want to control, you want to imagine that there is resistance there, that you are creating yourself by engaging the muscles. So breathe in and breathe out. And we finish it up on this next one. Hold it here and bring the hand down. Reach through the tippy toes of your right foot and cross it over to the left, a little tap. Pick up that leg over to the right. So when you bring a leg, you're not swinging it. You're drawing a rainbow with it. So it's a very controlled movement. And you're making sure that the leg is not floppy. So again, remember, you want to be using your glute of that same leg to be picking it up and drawing that rainbow in the air with your leg, with your toes, with your foot. So the leg is facilitating that drawing, and your glute is where the work comes from. Keep it going. Keep your neck nice and long. Make sure that you're not collapsing the head down so that you are putting strain on your neck in any way. The hips don't swing either. Only the leg moves. So let's finish it up. One last one here. And bring it in. Whew. And once again, let's stretch out those hamstrings. Give them the recovery, restoration that they need. Spreading out those hands and lifting those hips really nice and high. A little turn, a little shake the head, yes, no, a few times. Pressing heart toward legs and breathe in. Breathe out, bring it down. And push back. Bringing your hips towards your heels, forehead towards your mat. And breathe easy. Slowly bring it back into alignment. And from here, we're going to make sure that the knees are maybe a little bit wider than hip width. And from here, you're going to take your left leg, stretch it out long, and take your right arm, or left arm, sorry, so same arm, same leg, stretch it out long, and see if you can pick up your leg, creating a nice long line through your left side, balancing on that right side, trying to keep it as centered as possible, and bring it down. Let's switch it over to the other side. So once again, we start off well anchored, well grounded here, taking your right leg long and taking your right arm by the ear. So one side's definitely going to be easier. I'd have to take my left hand a little bit wider. Maybe that'll help. And then picking up my left leg, or sorry, right leg, right arm, nice long line. Again, staying nice and centered, holding it there. and release it. Bring it down. Take it back into your child's pose. You can bring the arms by your legs, even for more of a classical pause. Maybe bring the legs in a little bit closer toward each other as you bring the forehead towards your knees. Breathing in and slowly unroll as you come back to nice tall stance. So from here, let's move back to our inverted V. And we are going to look to the space between the hands, and as you soften up the knees, place your feet at the top of your mat. Inhale, flatten your back long. Exhale, sink into chair. Take the arms right by your ears here. Nice long line. Now fire up your peace fingers. Sink the hips low. Wrap your peace fingers around your big toes. Place your thumbs over top of your toenails and lift the hips up nice and high. Take an inhale. So notice my legs are as straight as I can get them. So depending on your flexibility, your legs might be really bent, and that's okay. Take a breath, get long through your spine, and as you breathe out, bend your elbows. Start to open them up as you fold over your legs, squeezing a little tighter in as you bring your belly closer and closer to your thighs, top of your head towards your feet. Take an inhale here. Flatten the back again. Sink the hips nice and low. Can you still hold on to your big toes as you get your hips lower and lower? Coming into a really low squat here. Curling in and gradually rolling onto your bottom. Picking up the feet as you continue to hold on to them to create a nice long boat here. So you have the legs set together as you start out. Again, you might have a really big bend in your knees, which is quite okay. I would play around with balance. That's going to challenge your core because right now you're needing a lot of strength to keep your back well supported. So see if you can open up the legs, maintaining your balance as you keep holding on to those big toes, holding it here. A little challenge I always like to do is letting go of those toes, bringing the arms right by the ears, maintaining your boat. Peace fingers again, wrap around those big toes. Hold it here, bring the legs back together, soles of the feet together as we come into cobbler's pose. So nice yoga stretch here. You can bring the hands behind your back, and that's going to give you support that makes it easier for you to stay tall. Quite often what I see in this pose is a lot of rounding this way. So we do a lot of that day to day already. We don't really need to round the upper back. So let's see if we can flatten it more, opening the heart more while we keep the soles of the feet connected, knees opening up nice and wide as we continue to let the legs, let the weight of your legs relax and pull down to create a really nice inner thigh stretch. From here, let's bring those legs back together or close together so they're in line with each other, parallel to each other as you plant your feet down. Let's bring the hands and let go of the legs if you can. More beginner option is to hold on to the legs. Let's breathe in, get tall, breathe out, tuck the chin, scoop your belly in. Now we're going to have some rounding in that upper back in order to create some articulation through your spine. So from here, bring the hands right alongside the hips. Stretch your legs out long. And as you keep the pelvis nice and level, open up through the chest. Take a breath in and lift the legs up over your hips. Crossing your right ankle on top of the left one. You can keep the hands here, or if you want a little extra work, you can bring the fingers by your ears, so just lightly. So my fingers are just open, they're just lightly placed by the back of the head. So I'm not pulling at all. The elbows are wide open. I'm looking toward my inner thighs as I pick up my tailbone for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I can take a little break for my neck and shoulders, uncross, and then cross the opposite leg on top. So other ankle crosses, head can stay on the floor, hands by the hips if I want to make it a little easier. But the idea is to really fire up those lower abdominal muscles here as I pick up the hips. So squeeze the legs, the midlines of the legs, and adjust the head to where you need to have it as you pick up the tailbone for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring the head down, and from here, I'm going to lower one leg as I keep my right toes reaching up. Keep my hips level as I circle in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And go the other way for 5. Try to keep that bottom or the extended leg nice and still. 3, 4, 5, and switch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go the other way for 5. Now, if you need it easier, you can keep your foot on the floor. 3, 4, 5, and bring those legs together. Bring the knees in. Give yourself a little release. Nose toward the knees as we hold on to one leg. Lift it up on the bottom tips of those shoulder blades. Take an inhale. And exhale, exhale, switch. Exhale, exhale, breathe in, out, out, breathe in, out, out. Lots of control in the hips. Last one. Bring the knees to a bend. Fingertips by the ears as I reach across. Bringing my rib cage toward the opposite thigh. For 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And last one for 10. Bring it together. Whew. And from here, we're going to go into some hip extensions. So once again, we're working on extension. We worked on those when we were laying on our stomach. But for this one, if you want to make it a little bit more challenging, if you have yoga blocks, I'd advise you to grab your yoga blocks. Now, I'm going to take the 2 of them and stack them. And as I come back in onto my supine position, I'm going to place one foot on those blocks. So placing my right foot to begin on the blocks. You can have no blocks at all. You could keep both feet flat on the floor the whole time. So always a way to modify. And if you're not sure on modifications, you can always ask in the comments, either live or on the replay. I'd be happy to give you some tips that can make a particular exercise easier. And I probably even have a video that I can point you to that demonstrates an easier option, because there are so many, almost 200 videos now in my library. So as I lift up, balancing the hips here, pressing firmly through that right foot, I'm going to extend my left leg up and lowering the hips, just hovering above the floor to reach up and lower down and reach, lift. Now the idea is I want to keep both hip bones nice and level. For 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So powerhouse is working here. 9 and 10. Bring it down. Release. Reach those legs long. Give them a good stretch here. Stretching that hamstring, especially on the right side. And now I'm going to switch. So just moving my blocks over a little bit so that I can place my left foot on the blocks. Hands by my hips. Lifting up into my bridge, one-legged bridge. So again, remember your options here.
As I anchor through my shoulder blades, I'm going to keep my pelvis level, breathing in and breathing out. Lift and lower. And for 3, I'm doing 10 of these. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Bring it. Bring those knees in. Bring the soles of the feet toward the ceiling. Reach. So depending on your flexibility again, you could wrap your forearms, your wrists, hands around the backs of the knees, making sure that you've got a nice straight line from ankle to knee. You can grab a hold of your ankles, or you can grab a hold of the inside edge of your feet, or you can come back to the big toes and hold on to those big toes if you like, or the outer edges of your feet. Lots of options here. Choose the one that feels good to you because you want the stretch to feel nice. Notice my tailbone here is as close to the floor as possible. So I don't want to have my back way up in the air like this. I want to keep it nice and flat so that when I rock from side to side, I am getting the maximum benefit here. I'm getting a good stretch in my inner thighs, inner hips, great back massage as well. So it is super effective in getting the job done. From here, take it back from that yoga stretch back into some Pilates work. So I'm going to move these blocks out of the way. And as I stretch out, so I'm staying supine for now, as I stretch out the legs nice and long here, pelvis is level. I'm going to reach my arms back behind me. So kind of get myself organized once again here through my pelvis, my back, my shoulder blades, back of the head. You also want to make sure that the back of the head is centered as you reach back. So if you need a blanket under your head, that's always an option to consider. As you exhale, you're going to reach forward, tuck your chin in, and roll yourself up, articulating to come all the way up. Big, big stretch at the top. Inhale, exhale, take it down, and roll it back down again. Feels so good to stretch it out this way. Breathe in, breathe out. And, so great for the back. Breathe in and breathe out. I love how this really gets the whole core really fired up, but it gets so much easier as you get more experience. Let's add in a teaser prep here by lifting one leg, or keep going the way that you're going. So you've got the option. You can add the leg, maybe try both sides, alternating from one side to the other, or keep going the way you're going. Now, if you need to keep your knees bent while you're doing this, rolling up only partially to peek at your knees, you could do that too. So as we continue to add on, let's see if we can get both legs lifted up. Balancing at the top, lowering down as we continue on. Let's do it again. So from here, we're going to keep going. And some of the tricks that I did in the previous practice, actually it was in the video. I don't think we actually got it done in the practice. We did the teaser prep, but I'm just going to make sure I have enough room behind me here. So you'll want to make sure that you do that, and then your mat is going to be there for some extra cushion. If you're going to attempt this, we're going to come into the roll over. So from here, take an inhale. As you exhale, roll it down, and then from there we lift the legs and we roll up and over, bringing the legs, separating them, and as we make our way down, we bring the feet together again into Pilates stance. So we bring them down, about halfway, and lifting up again, reaching through those toes as we roll over. Flex the ankles here as you separate the feet. As you start to roll back down, you gradually bring those heels together for your Pilates stance, pointing the toes as you reach halfway down. Lift it up, peeling your spine away from the floor. Separate the feet, flex your ankles, and do it again. So now that you've got the hang of it, we're going to do one more, just like that. And then we're going to add on to the boomerang. So as we move on to the boomerang, we're going to start off seated. So this is how we're going to wrap it up today. So from a seated position, we are going to cross the right leg on top of the left leg. At any point, if this is too much, you just stop it right there. Go to a modification, give yourself a stretch, whatever is going to feel good for you and your body. But with the ankles crossed, I'm going to have the hands right beside my hips. And from here, I'm going to scoop the belly in and roll down as I lift the legs up, bringing them up and over. From here, I separate the feet. I cross the other ankle on top, and I begin to articulate my way back down to come back to balancing here. Turning the palms up, I bring the hands behind me, interlace the fingers, reach the hands away, lower the legs with control, and stretch over top of those legs. That one is called boomerang. So it's kind of a building on of various movements, teaser, rollover, and combining them together. So from here, let's do it again. Rolling down, lifting those legs up, rolling over, separating the feet, crossing the right ankle on top again, articulating my weight and back down, lowering the legs as I bring them about halfway, holding here, reaching, balancing, palms turn up, bring those elbows in, reach back, interlace fingers, gracefully lower the legs, and take a bow over the legs as you stretch. Release the hands, unroll yourself, sit tall, and let's do it again. Rolling down, legs come up, rolling them over, separating the feet, crossing the other ankle on top, articulating through the spine. Coming about halfway as I start to peel my body up, coming up, balancing here. Palms turn upward, scoop those elbows in, reach the hands back, interlace fingers gracefully, bring those legs down, take a bow, and release it. And uncross, give the legs a shake, and let's move into some stretches before I send you on your way, resuming your day. I did have a question that I put out to everyone last time, so let's come onto our back. I'll talk to you about it as we stretch. So coming onto your back here, we are going to give the hamstring a nice stretch here, a little circling of the ankle in both directions. And then you could cross your right ankle on top of the left for a figure four stretch. So I posed the question last time that we did yoga, so not last week, but the week before that. It seems that 60 minutes for a yoga practice is rather short. It gives you the opportunity to, get really well warmed up. If you're doing a power practice, or no matter which kind of practice you're doing, really, to really balance out the practice, 90 minutes is lovely. But of course, it's a bigger time commitment. So I did pose the question if anyone would be interested in doing that. And I did get a response that yes, a longer yoga class would be lovely, particularly for a live practice. So as I take that bit of a break down to one video a week for the month of June, as I come back, that will be something that I'd like to offer, maybe not every single week, maybe once a month, do a live 90-minute yoga session, mixing it up with other content in the meantime, as well as, so that would be supplementary to everything else. So holding this twist, you can take your left arm here, give it a good stretch, looking towards your left elbow to really emphasize the length on the left side of your body. And then as I release it and unwind, I come back to that same supine neutral, stretching out my left leg. And the same thing here, I can circle out the ankle, loosening that up. From that balancing that we did was pretty challenging on the legs and the ankles, so they deserve a good stretch. Crossing over. So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. Let me know what interests you the most, because with a 90-minute yoga practice, I'm able to get a really good warm-up, really good segment of working on strength and balance, and more time at the back end with some seated stretches as well. There's some really great seated poses, and it really allows you to work not only on your strength, but more work on your flexibility by having that time for seated and for supine work also. So as great, you'd love a log class. Excellent. So from here, let's take it to our left side. Same thing. You can keep your ankle there, or you could stack your knees. You could take your right arm, bring it by your ear, look over towards your right elbow. Yeah, I really enjoy the longer class, but like I said, it is a bigger time commitment. But of course, because you're doing it at home, you're saving time, not having to drive to the studio on the way there, not having to drive back. So it does give you probably an extra half hour that you could dedicate to your practice. And it also is a really, really nice block of time that you can dedicate. But if, it doesn't work out for you, I mean, you can certainly skip out after the 60 minutes or at any point. It's better to do something, even if you don't do the entire thing, than not to do anything at all. Hello there. Nice to see you, H. Barra. You were here a few times for our live, so really appreciate that. It's lovely to have you popping in again. This is the last live of our 31 days of Zen. So this is the video that's going out this week. This is the practice. So as you watch on the replay, be sure to comment. Let me know what you thought of the practice. Let me know what you want to see coming up ahead. So in the month of June, I'll be going back to a yoga practice, a Pilates practice, yoga practice, so alternating back and forth. From here, you can give your back a nice massage once again. And as we massage the spine, we rock and we roll forward and back, coming all the way up to sitting nice and tall. So from here, we can come into cross-legged, bringing our torso nice and tall over the legs, taking an inhalation here. As you exhale, bringing one arm down and reaching up and over with the other one. Big, big stretch here. So you circle that arm all the way down, reach the hands away and take a bow over top of our left leg. And then bring it back in again. Take a big inhale, reach it up. As you exhale, let's switch to the other side. So same thing, stretching, reaching up and over. Lots of softness and heaviness at the same time. And as you take that hand down, walk it out so that you are able to bow over top of your folded leg. As you make your way back up again, let's sit tall. I'm going to take my right ankle and hold on to the foot or the ankle or the pant leg and bring it back behind me. As I tuck my tailbone, I really want to focus on opening up and lengthening out here. Squeezing that heel toward me, looking up. As I take that foot, I'm going to bring the left foot a little closer to my bottom, crossing this leg over top and holding on to it. So give it a good squeeze, taking my right hand behind me and opening up into a really nice twist. Breathing into that. Letting it go. Come on back to the other side. So back to
Leaning onto the side here. I'm going to take a hold of my left leg or foot or ankle. So again, I'm going to point that the opposite way, opening up here, looking up. Nice stretch, great stretch in the chest too. I kind of want to let my shoulder roll back behind me. Hold it there. And as I step that foot across, I'm holding for that twist. So bringing it in nice and close. Both heels are close to my body, holding on with my right arm and turning back. So as I prepare to wrap up this final practice for the 31 days of Zen, again, I really appreciate everyone who's tuned in and has supported throughout the month, whether it was live or on the replay. It means a lot to have that support. And as anybody who has a channel knows how meaningful it is. And it's going to feel a little strange not having content going up every day and looking forward to seeing your comments. So I hope that we'll stay in touch throughout the week anyway. Like I said, I'll have more time to come by and to visit you. And from here, let it go. Come on back. Stretch out those legs. Give them a little bit of a shake, a little bit of massaging out. And ready, feeling energized, ready to take on the rest of your day. And as you do so, make sure that you carry along with you this energy that you've created through the time of practice. It is time invested, not time spent. So time invested always rewards you now and down the road. So hold on to that. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.